Grace had just returned from the supermarket, her heart heavy and her mind troubled. For the past 2 days, she couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Thompson, an elderly neighbor who lived 2 blocks away. He was known in the neighborhood as a drunkard. People often saw him stumbling around intoxicated, sometimes even sleeping in gutters and refuse dumps. She didn't know him personally, but the burden for him weighed deeply on her heart. It wasn't a strange feeling. She had felt it several times on regular days. It was a call, and so she obeyed. Without even unpacking her groceries, Grace headed straight to her small prayer room. She played worship music softly to set the atmosphere, then sank to her knees. At first, she whispered in prayer, uncertain of what to say. But as she pressed in, the words began to flow. And then came the groaning, the weeping, the loud cries to heaven. She didn't know what exactly to pray for, but she prayed as the Spirit led, pouring out her heart the only way she knew how. Before she knew it, 2 hours had passed. Finally, a calm settled in her spirit. The burden had lifted. Peace returned. She rose from the floor, weary but satisfied. Her assignment, at least for now, was complete. She stepped back into the kitchen to make dinner, already reminding herself to return to prayer later that night. There was something else on her mind she needed to pray about, a job application she had submitted recently. The position was well above her qualifications, and competition was fierce. But she had taken a step of faith, applying out of desperation and hope. Halfway through preparing dinner, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, an email notification. It was from the company she had applied to. She paused, heart racing. With trembling fingers, she opened it and gasped. She had been offered the job. Joy erupted from her soul. She leapt, danced, and shouted with gratitude. But then she stopped. A quiet realization settled over her. She hadn't prayed about that job yet. She hadn't really prayed for herself in a long time. Somehow, every time she entered her prayer room with a personal request, the Holy Spirit would redirect her to intercede for someone else. And yet, her every need had been met, even the unspoken ones. Tears welled in her eyes. In that sacred moment, she whispered, "When we focus on what matters to God, He takes care of what matters to us." As I carried His burden, He lifted mine.